Hi, I'm Brendan Gallagher, and this is Pittsburgh Inspired. We interview leaders and influencers that strive to make Pittsburgh and the world a better place. Today I am here with Stephen D'Achille, the founder and president of the Alexis Joy D'Achille Foundation. Steve, thank you for being with me today.
Thanks for having me.
Can you tell me a little bit about the Alexis Joy D'Achille Foundation?
The foundation started in 2013, pretty much immediately after my wife Alexis took her life, from complications and with her struggle with postpartum depression, anxiety, and psychosis.
Wow, that's terrible. Tell us a little bit more about Alexis.
Alexis, I mean, she was special. She was, she was so many things. She lit up every room. She was smart. She was organized. She was a, type A. She was a go-getter. She was successful in everything she did. She had the best sense of humor. She was really an overachiever in everything that she did. There was no boundaries for her. She always went above and beyond. She was always level-headed, kind of the voice of reason amongst her friends, or she was always someone you could talk to, and she would shoot you straight, no matter what, whether you liked it or not. So,
she sounds like just a beautiful, wonderful person.
She was all the above. She was amazing.
And then, as you referenced before, after the birth of your daughter, she suffered from postpartum depression.
Yeah, about 2 weeks after, it was a code blue delivery. It was a traumatic birthing experience, and about 2 weeks after my mother-in-law had been in town for a couple weeks, after she left, it was a really rapid decline. I think each day grew progressively worse. But with that, she was very intelligent and educated, and she recognized that she was in trouble. I think unlike most of the women that suffer from postpartum depression, she was really focused on getting help, and exhausted just about every resource the city has for women suffering from maternal mental health issues. And that's kind of was the impetus for starting the foundation. It was, we spent about 2.5, 3 weeks every day, searching for, psychiatrists, 2-month waits to get appointments with a psychiatrist. We spent our anniversary in an emergency room psych ward. We were at crisis centers. She was going to yoga classes. We were walking the park. We were, doing anything we could do to try to get her through this. It's just, at that point in time, nobody knew what to do with her.
The resources weren't available.
They weren't available, and that's, we had 2 days in intensive care before she actually passed, and that was during that time that I decided that we needed a center that obviously wasn't available for Alexis or myself during our time of need. So it was just recognizing the huge void and trying to do something about it.
Wow, it's a very tragic situation, and it says on your website, postpartum depression is a treatable disease. And people don't see it as a disease. A lot of people don't see it as a disease, but that's what it is. And the work you've done has made that treatment and those resources available for tons of people in the city of Pittsburgh. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I thought, I'm proud to say that we do have a facility in West Penn Hospital. Here in Pittsburgh, it's part of Allegheny Health Network and Highmark Health, and we do have a center, temporary facility that I believe last year about 1,300 women reached out to. Um, so there's obviously a need.
Yeah.
And part of the thing, part of Alexis's story is, destigmatizing postpartum depression and letting, other women, other families. And part of my responsibility is to make men more aware, because we usually see the mother
Yeah.
more than anyone else. And, we're the second set of eyes that moms need to get help. And I think part of the success of our program, and, one of the reasons for the numbers is us as men having, looking out for our wives. I think, we want to protect our women. We want them to be okay. And, so I get calls every day from men that are like, something's wrong with my wife, and I just encourage them to take action because, postpartum depression is 100% curable and treatable. It's a temporary hormonal imbalance that if you get the help you need, you will get better from. Even though probably, most women feel like they're going to be like that forever, they get better and relatively quickly. So it's just getting access to care. And so that's, awareness and access to care to, the two main objectives for the foundation.
Absolutely. And I really like that you brought up the important role that the husband has in that, because oftentimes, I know people personally that have suffered from depression, anxiety, postpartum depression, and it's hard for those people to reach out and get help, to admit that they need that help, or to even feel that help will do anything for them, and that you're reaching out to make a lot of the husbands aware, the spouses aware that, hey, if you see these things, you might encourage your wife to get some help.
Well, I think that encouragement could be the difference, between them getting the help they need or not.
Absolutely.
One of the things I never thought about until I've kind of learned over the last 4.5 years is the divorce rates in homes where, a mother suffers with postpartum depression or peripartum depression issues. The divorce rates are staggering.
I believe it, yeah.
And so, I always try to preach that this is not a women's health issue. This is a family health issue,
Mm-hmm.
because the children end up suffering the most from this. There's so many children that grow up in broken homes, and and the women that don't get the help, they have this stigma that kind of follows them. I meet 65 and 75-year-old women that suffered, 50 plus years ago with it, and they've just been labeled a weak woman their whole life, and it is stuck to this day. They're just weak and crazy, and that's it. And it's not fair. And it's definitely not fair to the children. So
and postpartum depression is not a rare thing. 20% of women.
The Health Network, we always say 1 in 7, but up to as high as 1 in 5.
Okay.
And those numbers differ based on socioeconomic status and stuff like that. But there's, 1 in 7 women. So we all know somebody.
Yeah, that's been through it. And so back in 2013, when you went through everything, it's a completely different environment and situation now. And because of the work, and a large part because of the work that you and the Alexis Joy Foundation have done, women in Pittsburgh and families in Pittsburgh can now get the help that they need. It's more readily available.
100%. I don't know, I guess I feel like this, I don't know, maybe this happened to me for a reason. I think of this, and I read stories of this happens so much more often than it happens every day in cities all across America. But for some reason it's working here. I think a lot of that is because of Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's like small enough to care, but big enough to matter.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And the people in Pittsburgh are special.
100%. 100%. And we've had so much support from the city. We've been so blessed to get the support of a major health system and a health insurance company to listen to us and acknowledge there's a problem and actually step up to the plate to to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it had to start here, but I don't think that Pittsburgh's the exception to the rule. I think we just have to prove it, and I
Yeah.
really, it's like a lot of energy. I just feel it coming, and I know, the rest of the country's going to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal, right?
Yep. That's the
Awesome.
plan. So
Awesome.
it's growing.
And to me, to go through what you went through, you show amazing courage and love. That's continuing after Alexis has passed away, and I mean you're living this and doing this every day, and you're helping so many women. And it's amazing that you turned all of those negative things into a passion for good and to help people. And when did your inspiration come? How did your inspiration come?
Well, I mean, it came, watching my wife, her final 2 days in intensive care. And a lot of times people, ask if I'm mad at her, or if I'm this and that. And it's not that I'm mad at her so much as my heart is like broken for
Yeah.
her to feel like that. It's for somebody to have the courage and be brave enough. I mean, to sit across from a doctor or someone you love or anybody, to tell them that you have this brand new baby,
Yeah.
and to say, I'm thinking, I'm going to take my life. This is, I mean, you got to be a strong person to do that.
Absolutely.
And to be told that, you're not crazy, just go home, you're going to be fine.
It's the wrong answer.
Yeah, and that's pretty brutal. It's a pretty brutal realization to reach out for help and to be told you're fine.
Yeah.
And and I don't want other women to have to experience what my wife experienced, and I don't want other fathers to, live my reality, and I don't want, any other child to, grow up with no mom. The second part of the inspiration for all of this was, me realizing that there's a good chance my daughter might go through this too.
Yeah.
So I have a responsibility to make sure I do everything I can possibly do to make sure that the right care is there for my daughter when the time comes, because time flies. So, but I'm confident we'll have the right care out there by then. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're an inspiring person, Stephen. You really are. I appreciate
you.
everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
So how can Pittsburgh help the Alexis Joy D'Achille Foundation?
Oh man, they've already helped so much. I guess we have a black tie function every April in and around Alexis's birthday, which was April 17th, and then this August we have a 5K in North Park. It's a family 5K fun run. We do a 100-yard dash for the kids. They all
Nice.
get gold medals, and we usually have we have ice cream face painters, balloon artists, sometimes
Awesome.
all kinds of fun stuff. So it's a good day for the family. Bring your kids out, and really the thing I always tell everybody is to just share Alexis's story,
Yeah.
because you never know who you're going to help sharing that story with. So if you've heard the story or you've listened to this, share the story, and if you see a new mom, pat her on the back, offer to help with something, let her know she's doing a good job, and just keep your eyes open.
Yeah, that's great advice. And whether or not you think somebody needs help or doesn't need help, me and Stephen were having the conversation earlier. You can't usually tell by looking at somebody whether or not they need help. So if someone's pregnant or just had a baby and you care about that person, make sure they know about the Alexis Joy Foundation and that there's help available if they happen to be suffering those things.
Absolutely.
So this is one question I ask everybody as well, to send us off. So if you had to pick one guiding principle, like what drives you and motivates you every day whenever you wake up to keep doing the things that you are doing, what would that be?
Oh man, that's I don't know. I guess I think I think you'd see a lot more change in the world if people would acknowledge their struggles, and instead of being secretive with them, tell your story.
Yeah,
Because it's my therapy, the work that I do. I mean, as long
absolutely.
as I keep doing what I'm doing, my wife lives forever. And so, it's been the best decision I've ever made in my life to start the foundation and share my struggles. But the other side to that is if people can look at you and, see you're doing all right, and given the circumstances, and like everybody has something going on. I'm not the only
Yeah,
guy
absolutely.
that's,
Everyone has a story.
everybody does. We're all going to go through hard times. I just feel blessed that I have the audience and the support and the family that I have to get me through it, because a lot of people don't have the support that I have. And so I just would encourage people, if you're going through something or a loved one is going through something, speak up about it, because you could inspire somebody else to do the next, to do something great. And it lets people know that they're not in the boat alone. We're all fighting something.
Yeah.
So speak up.
Everyone's fighting a battle. Everyone
Yep.
is. Oh,
Yep.
I appreciate it. It's truly inspiring. Thank you for being here today.
All right. Thanks for
And
having me.
of course. And so that's it for this episode of Pittsburgh Inspired. Find us, follow us, like us on Facebook, Instagram. We have a Twitter page, YouTube, and shortly we will have a podcast. So search Pittsburgh Inspired on any media, and until next time, stay inspired, Pittsburgh.